Hi everyone, I'm Wendy, and today I'm showing you 4 smoothies with 5 ingredients or less, including some hidden vegetables. I'll have all of the recipes linked in the details below the video. Keep in mind these recipes are just suggestions. You're in charge in the kitchen, so if you're not used to using so many vegetables in your smoothies, you can adjust the ratios. But today I'll be showing you how I like to make these smoothies, so let's get right to it. First, I have a good old-fashioned green smoothie. For this, I'm using one entire 5-ounce container of arugula. Arugula has a pretty powerful flavor, so you might try spinach or kale instead if you're not a fan of arugula. But I personally have come to love that peppery flavor. Then I'm adding half a cup of frozen pineapple, a half a cup of frozen mango, 1/2 of a frozen banana, and about 2 cups of liquid. I'm using half a cup of a plant-based milk and 1½ cups of water, but you could use either all water or all milk, or whatever ratio of the two you like. Then this is completely optional, but I like to add cooked soybeans to my smoothies, so I'm adding 1/3 of a cup. You could leave this out, or feel free to use tofu or another kind of white bean. And then I'll blend it and serve it up. I'm using a Vitamix, and of course any high-powered blender will give you the smoothest smoothies, but you could use any blender. You may just have to blend for a little bit longer. My Vitamix usually gets the job done in about 30 to 60 seconds. Next is my Wendy's Chocolate Frosty Copycat recipe. But this Wendy is using a secret ingredient, cauliflower. I'm using 5 ounces. Then I'm adding 1 large frozen banana, and for the chocolate flavor, 1 tablespoon of carob powder. Of course, you could use cocoa or cacao powder instead. Next is 3/4 of a cup of your favorite plant-based milk. I like soy or almond milk. 3/4 of a cup will make this pretty thick, like an actual Frosty. But if you want this to be more like a smoothie, you can add another cup of liquid or more. Today I am adding some extra water to thin it out and make it more like a smoothie. Then I'm adding half of a small avocado, which is totally optional. However, I will say the avocado definitely improves the taste and texture of this smoothie. Without the avocado, the cauliflower gets a bit gritty, but the avocado somehow magically smooths it all out. It's still delicious either way though, so leave it out if you need to. Once again, I'm also adding my 1/3 of a cup of optional soybeans. I tried a cauliflower smoothie for the first time a couple weeks ago and I was hooked, so I've been experimenting, and the day that I randomly threw this one together, I thought it tasted just like a chocolate Frosty from Wendy's. Now, I haven't had a Frosty in probably 20 years, so maybe it tastes nothing like it, but that's the thought that popped into my head while drinking it. If you give it a try, let me know in the comments what you think. Now, my pineapple beet smoothie. It starts with 1 packed cup of power greens, and I really packed them in there. Then I'm adding 1 cup of steamed beets. If you're not used to eating beets, just beware. The next time you go to the bathroom, everything might be tinted a reddish pink. If you'd like, you could also use raw beets. I just prefer using steamed beets. Then I'm adding 2 cups of frozen pineapple. And again, I'm adding a combination of plant-based milk and water. Again, I'm adding 1/3 a cup of cooked soybeans, but you can leave these out. Like I said at the beginning, adjust these recipes as needed to suit your tastes. If you're not fond of the taste of beets, maybe start with a little less. Or you could even try adding some other vegetables like carrots in there. Finally, I have my cherry berry cabbage smoothie. It starts with 10 ounces of red cabbage. That's quite a bit of cabbage. Like I said at the beginning, if you're not used to throwing vegetables into your smoothies, you might start with a little less and increase the amount of fruit. I'm using 3/4 of a cup of frozen cherries, 3/4 of a cup of frozen blueberries, a half of a large frozen banana, 1 cup of plant-based milk, and 1 cup of water. And as with the other smoothies, I'm adding the optional soybeans. All of these smoothies are a great way to get some extra veggies into your diet, and you can adjust all of them to suit your taste. A smoothie is also a great way to get even more nutrition into your day very easily. Here are a couple of ingredients I like to add into my smoothies for extra nutrition and flavor. I love using ginger, either 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground ginger or about a teaspoon of grated fresh ginger. Fresh ginger is so delicious in a smoothie and it completely changes the flavor. So if you're not a fan of the vegetable smoothies, try a little bit of ginger and see if it changes your mind. I like to keep ginger in my freezer, so I always have it on hand, and it's really easy to just grate a little bit into my smoothie. Amla powder is another great addition. For most people, amla powder on its own has a very unpleasant flavor, but it has some great health benefits. So if that's something you like to add into your diet, a smoothie is a great way to do it. Lemon juice is another fantastic ingredient to improve the taste of your smoothies. Once again, especially if you're not used to adding so many greens, the lemon juice can help to counteract some of that bitterness. Finally, I love adding turmeric for the anti-inflammatory properties. I recommend either a 1/4 teaspoon of ground turmeric or a little bit of fresh grated turmeric. It sounds a little weird to add to your smoothie, but if you also add a pinch of black pepper, that'll boost the power of the curcumin in the turmeric. I hope you'll give these a try. Let me know in the comments which smoothie is your favorite. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more plant-based meal ideas. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.